Wow! Namaste everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing great because I just watched one of the most epic movies in the Indian cinemas. And as you know from the title, Kantara is the name of the movie, and the whole wow screaming I did, you will only understand the emotion once you have watched the movie. And if you are someone who does not believe in God and kind of questions the whole, cultural aspect of whether the Deva actually enters the body or not, this movie is definitely for you. Definitely, most definitely for you, because I am one of, look, I live in Odisha. We have Danda Jatra, and we like every during the summers usually we see this whole concept of Devya in a different way, different form, but it has a very similar basis for which is very similar with Kantara's whole concept and theme. And if you're someone who is a bit of non-believer, I'm just gonna say it's okay, it's fine, it's very good, but you need to watch this movie, and maybe your views will change a bit, not because its portrayal is some kind of bias, but it is actually so well done. So well done. It clears a lot of aspects about it, and which is definitely an eye opener. It was an eye opener for me, and I'm pretty sure you will definitely enjoy it as well. So let's just dive into the review. Now I'm gonna start with the most important, usually, which is something I personally like. It might not be the most important for a lot of people, but I personally love direction and cinematography, so I'm gonna start with that. The direction and the cinematography was amazing, one of the best, to be honest. The story and the screenplay was good, but it could have been a little bit more tight in it. You know what I mean? The story was good, the concept was amazing, the script was well written, but since I watched in Hindi, I could not comment much on it. But the director was very intelligent by putting, the Devya, the gods' lines in Kannada and everyone else's in Hindi. It preserved the feel of the movie, which is, I believe, because look, I have started watching anime, and subtitled anime is so much more better because it preserves the emotion of the anime. Actually, any movie, whether it's a French movie, it's a Telugu movie, it's a Malayalam movie, any series, when you watch it in the native language with subtitles, it kind of preserves the emotions, which is what the director has done with this movie as well. Like, they put the Devya's line in Kannada and they translated in Hindi, which is a very good step, to be honest. And the humor is well placed. I know a lot of people are claiming that the humor was not, up to their taste, and the humor part was not hitting them properly, but for me, I personally felt, yeah, there were a bit of dad jokes and very pretty normal jokes, but that's the thing, the normal jokes really make me laugh. It's nice, it doesn't have to be always very complicated, high IQ, dank, or whatever that new cool term is, those kind of joke. It can be something very silly and funny and nice kind of jokes, and that was there in the movie, which is something I loved. It was not complex to understand, and one needs to get the logic that movies are made for mass, not for a single person, not for the 1%, 10% of the people who are just there to understand the subtleties of emotions, human emotions, or whatever. It is not made for them, just made for them. It is made for mass. So the very simple humor was very well placed. I loved it, and since it was a village setup, simple humor is what you get, I personally feel. So well done in that place. One more thing that I was fed up with is, like, I have seen a lot of Bollywood cringy romance lately, and I was a bit like, nah, I can't take it anymore. But here the romance was very raw. Yes, raw and very real and non cringy. not gonna lie, very real and non-cringy, and something that I personally liked. Yes, there are a little bit of hinting towards the adult thing, but it's a very subtle thing, which is fine in my perspective. I love the romance angle very much. They portrayed the cultural aspect so well. I mean, you can talk about the artistic nature of it, you can talk about the factual nature of it, you can talk about the emotions, you can talk about the faith. It was very well captured, it was very well written, and the music placement, the songs were so good. The songs actually evoked emotions, and I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who copied from whom, what the controversy is, but the songs were very good and it evoked emotions. And when they were in combination with the cinematography and the set design and the overall movie, it just felt, kind of energy was literally vibrating through me, especially the beginning where they have captured the faith and emotions of the tribe in their god, in Devya. They've captured it so well, and it is an artistic masterpiece, whether the beginning or the ending. Even when they zoomed in on Devya and the face paint, the emotions of the people, how they were stunned and amazed by the god, that was a work of art. Literally one of the best camera works, especially while capturing the aesthetic nature of the god and the emotions of the tribe. Overall very entertaining and actually worth watching. Now I'm gonna come to the horror and suspense elements placing. Now I'm not gonna say it was like Tumbad, which is one of my personal favorite when it comes to horror and suspense aspect, in specifically in Indian cinemas. To be honest, Tumbad could give Conjuring a run for its money, but the horror and suspense aspect of Kantara was, not very good, but not even very bad. So it was kind of average and well placed and beautifully executed, I have to say that. That and okay, now please don't hate me for this, but for the first time, I shouldn't call it South India, but the Kannada film industry. Uh, After watching KGF, I had I had this assumption that there are no practical fights in South Indian cinemas, but I'm sorry. This is the first time the fights and the action sequence were very practical, very real, and the body was like, the body of the protagonist or the villain were like, yeah, that can actually be there. Like you would think, like you would imagine a person to be that way. The funniest part is the body was not some six pack abs and absolutely lean or something. It was very natural, very strong, very well built, and the whole thing was like, हाँ ये actually हो सकता है real life में. This is something I see on the streets or I might encounter in some place in India. That is something true. You feel that way, and that is something I really felt to be very nice, because we needed some practical action sequence in Indian cinemas, definitely. It felt natural and pretty epic, but they did not miss to make it dramatic. Now, there is a difference between making it dramatic and making it unreal. Like, most of the movies, they will just sneeze, and the hero might sneeze and the villains would just blow away in the sky, but it was not that. This particular fight scene I'm talking about it's in the initial part of the movie, and even in the last part of the movie, which is very good, by the way. It was very natural, it was properly executed, and yet it was dramatic, especially when they get out of the water. And spoiler alert, the not a huge spoiler, by the way. When they get out of the water and the water droplets are literally flying, out of the mustache of the protagonist, which is something, wow, like seriously, in slow-mo, how crazy that looks, how amazing it looks. So they did not fail to make it dramatic, but they also kept it very real and very natural. In simple words, we Indians love our food spicy and very hot, and we won't use any artificial crap. So, similarly, this movie has maintained that in its cinematography and direction and the fight sequence. They made it dramatic, but they didn't use any artificial crap and made it look natural. Super desi chicken curry, like very spicy. Sorry for the chicken reference. If you guys are vegans, that's absolutely fine. It was a very spicy, nice curry. That's, you get it, yaar. You know how it is. That said, the Jalika. Okay, I have to mention there is a Jallikattu. Forgive me if my pronunciation is wrong. There is a Jallikattu scene in the movie which is like very well shot. But the best part about it is not VFX, and the protagonist, our hero, the actor took probably, if I'm correct, 37 takes to make that whole Jallikattu scene happen, and he did it by himself. That shows me dedication, passion, and absolute determination to make something really epic. And that is definitely, that can be definitely seen in the movies. I genuinely loved that scene. It was very well done. Now, when I initially mentioned that cinemas are not usually made for the 1% or the 10% of the intellectual minds who wants to enjoy the subtlety of human emotions, yet this movie has captured a lot of important subjects in socio-political sense, because it is definitely made for both the general and intellectual mass, I must say. In regards with the forest departments, the tribals and their issues, and how it is the politicians that make all the shitty things happening. The whole misunderstanding, miscommunication is done by the local greedy corrupt politician, and the forest department and the tribes have a fight, but unfortunately it is all orchestrated generally by the corrupted politician. Again, it's a spoiler, forgive me, but you will get to know what it is about when you watch the movie. The next thing that I loved about the movie is that the role of women is not undermined by the protagonist. Yes, we need a little bit more, but unlike other movies, the role of women was very well portrayed, and I could actually see the faces. I might not remember the names because I'm not very familiar with such names, but I can actually see the faces of the women who played an important role. And the best part is usually what happens in cinemas, that people use a very shallow depth of field only for the protagonist, but here the wide angle lens, the shallow depth lens, both were used for protagonist as well as the side characters, which were women. Usually women do not get the shallow depth of field unless they are heroines like of the whole cinema, but here it is not the case. They got their proper time and they got their proper exposure, I must say, because the lens used actually captured their faces, and I can actually remember them, which is usually not the case in many movies. So that is one thing that I definitely wanted you people to know. The role of women was definitely not undermined or overshadowed by the male protagonist. I once again want to mention the music, the very well placed music, and the epic goosebumps it gives. It is something you must listen to, and the way the Devya just shakes and it feels energizing somehow. I have not been personally ever so emotional just to watch something like this, because the whole movie did have a few deaths and fight scenes and whatnot, but it did not depend on losing a mom or losing your sister or some kind of tragedy, extreme tragedy, to make you emotional. The very Devya dance that they did, that was very emotional for me personally. It evoked real emotions. I was teary eyed while I got out of the cinema hall. I think that is something very, very epic on its own. It shows the level of hard work they put in in making the cinema, and the visuals were just on another level, by the way. Climax you'll find is worth waiting for, and you must definitely see the climax of the movie, and it is like an absolute goosebump for you. And during the ending, the conclusion part or whatever, it really captures artistic masterpiece. Just like the beginning of the movie, it actually portrays our culture and every aspect of human emotions in and its and the human faith in God. Like, it's on a different level. The beginning was a very similar one, but the ending just takes it a step further, which will just give you goosebumps, that I promise you. And unless you went in cinema hall with the sheer what do you say, bias that you will hate the movie, if you just go there and just sit and watch, I promise you will have definite appreciation for the ending. The goosebumps you will get definitely, because the artistic visuals plus the design, the makeup and everything with the music is just on another level. Last but not least, I want to emphasize the almost end, like absolute, not exactly absolute end, just almost to the end of the movie. There is a particular scene where you will watch the Devya meeting. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm sorry, I'm giving you too much, but it is so good. Okay, so the whole thing is a very symbolic gesture or meaning of Atma meeting Paramatma, and they've portrayed it so good, so well. And there is a question in the beginning of the movie, where did his father go? You'll get it in the end. That is worth waiting for. That hook is on another level. Overall, this Kantara experience was just mind blowing, emotion evoking, and absolutely amazing. Goosebumps hi aa gaye, bro. My friends recommended it a lot of times, and I was a bit skeptical, but I finally went and I just saw, and I was very, very much impressed. I'm telling you, we are onto something. We are like, it's for the better of the cinema. It is just better for the Indian cinemas. We are onto something, guys. We are just developing something really good right here. I'm serious, by the way. It's just amazing. I strongly recommend you watch it. I know this review has been a bit late because I have not watched it, and I don't recommend something that I personally have not experienced, and whatever I say is very raw and very open to you guys. So just please go ahead and watch the movie and let me know how, if you liked it. Till then, take care, and I'm pretty sure that you guys will definitely come back and comment down below that thanks for the recommendation, because it is one of the best movies. But I'm pretty sure that you guys have already watched, a lot of you guys have definitely watched, because it is one of the best movies out there. And if it existed for 3 weeks in Berhampur, like, okay, it's a big deal, okay, first of all. And I'm pretty sure it must be something like very, enchanting, even for the Berhampur audience. That is a very big deal. And thank you so much for watching this review. Like the video, share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more such content. There are going to be a little bit of improvisation to the channel, by the way. There's going to be, probably, I'm gonna put some normal daily vlogs here. My other channel, Bukkat Banjara, is going to be more focused on travel and food, while I'm gonna put some daily, overall, daily kind of vlogs kind of thing, self improvement vlogs kind of thing here in this channel. My journey and my experiments and my overall experience is going to be on this channel. There is going to be podcasts. I know I've been promising you guys a lot of podcasts, but it is not coming out lately because I've been trying to make something. It's a bit tough. And there is going to be shorts. I am so bad at shorts, by the way. it just takes a lot of my time. Somehow I'm good with the long form content, but it's taking me a while to transition and stuff. So there are going to be a few series and stuff as well on this channel. Make sure to subscribe to have that awesome content delivered to you on your notification as soon as I upload. And you guys know it takes a lot of time for me to upload, and which is why you're not gonna be spammed by my videos, and you will definitely be having a little mental space to consume it in a better pace and digest it in a better pace. So thank you so much for joining me here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Wow, I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Namaste.